Hello fellow fabricators. In this video, we're going to show you how you can adopt the new task flow feature in Fabric to apply reference architectures and better organize the artifacts in your workspace. This is part 4 of the Titanic Diagnostic Analytics video series. As a bit of a recap, we're building a data product with the purpose of creating a Power BI report that allows users to interactively explore the passenger data from the Titanic to understand patterns in survival rates. This data product adopts the Medallion Architecture pattern, which has gained traction in the industry. The bronze, silver, gold terminology provides a clear, common language that we can all understand and adopt. Where, firstly, bronze is the area of the lake where we land the data in its raw form. Silver is then the area of the lake where we write data in a standardized format such as Delta Lake, having cleaned up and enriched the data through processes such as master data management. Gold, finally, is where we write the data in a specific shape and granularity to meet the needs of a specific use case. This enables us to deliver value from data by generating actionable insights. Now, in our example, we are projecting a simple dimensional model to gold to enable diagnostic analysis of the data in Power BI. But from the same source data in the silver layer, you could also project a completely different data set into gold. For example, a flattened version of the data that makes it suitable for training a machine learning model. Well, let's jump over and have a look at the workspace and the artifacts we've created to support our Titanic Diagnostic Analytics use case. Now you can see there's a diverse mix of artifacts that we've visited in detail throughout this video series, but just as a recap, we've got lake houses that give us persistent storage for both file and tabular data, enabling us to work with any form of data, whether that be structured, semi-structured, or unstructured. We've also got data pipelines to orchestrate processing and do some of that heavy lifting, such as copying data from source systems. And then we've also got notebooks, where we have written data wrangling logic to clean, enrich, and prepare the data. And you can see that we've tried to reflect the medallion process by using a numeric prefix in naming these artifacts to group them and order them according to the stage of the medallion process that they are related to. But this feels like a bit of a workaround. The good news is that the Microsoft Fabric product team have listened to end users and have developed a solution to this problem. They call it task flows. You can access task flows from a workspace by either dragging down or clicking to expand this new area. Now you can build a task flow from first principles, but we can see here there is a set of predefined templates, and there's one specifically for the Medallion architecture we're adopting in this project. So let's adopt that and see if this works for us. The default template for the Medallion architecture looks like this. You can see it captures the end-to-end pattern as a directed graph. Each node in the graph is called a task, and these tasks can be assigned a type. For example, here we have a get data task, a store data task, prepare data task, and a visualize data task. I'm going to adapt this to better reflect the specific solution we've developed for the Titanic Diagnostic Analytics project. Firstly, we don't have this split of high volume and low volume data, so we can simply rationalize that to one task in the task flow. Secondly, we're only serving the data up for the purposes of data visualization, so we can remove the ML serving task. I'm also going to rename some of the tasks to reflect the terminology we want to adopt in our target architecture. So I'm going to use the terminology ingest to bronze, process to silver, and project to gold, those ingestion and data preparation tasks. I'll also relabel the storage tasks to simply bronze, silver, and gold. Now, with the task flow configured for the specific solution we're developing here, I can now click on the paperclip icon on each task, and I can start to assign the artifacts in my workspace to that task. So look, first, let's allocate the ingestion pipeline to the ingest to bronze task. Then let's allocate the bronze lakehouse to the bronze task. Then we'll allocate the pipeline and notebooks associated with processing to silver to the process to silver task. Then we'll allocate the silver lakehouse and its associated artifacts to the silver task. Then we'll allocate the pipeline and notebooks associated with projecting to gold to the project to gold task. We'll then move on to allocate the gold lakehouse to the gold task. Finally, we'll allocate the Power BI semantic model and report to the data visualization task. Now, having done that, we're missing a home for our top-level pipeline that orchestrates all of this solution. Well, that's no problem. We can add in a final task. We can use this general type of task and rename it and link it to the other ingestion and data preparation stages of the pipeline, and then add that overarching orchestration pipeline to that task. Now, we've got a few artifacts left over that we can then organize into another new feature, which is folders. So firstly, we have a number of utility notebooks that provide functionality that's reused across multiple stages of this medallion process. So we can create a utilities folder and place those notebooks in that folder. We've also got a notebook which is used to demo logging functionality in notebooks. So let's create a demo folder and drop that in there. And the remaining artifact is an environment which we've set up to import the specific packages used by this project. So create an environments folder and drop that in there. So you can now see that the task column in the workspace is now fully populated, and it's providing a nice color-coded visual way of grouping our artifacts. And you can also see how the task flow graph itself can be used to explore the artifacts in your workspace. Clicking on a specific task filters a list of artifacts below to show the artifacts assigned to that task. So it acts as a means of summarizing the solution and then navigating to the specific tasks that deliver each element of that solution. Now, at this point, we should probably rename all of our artifacts. We no longer need that numerical prefix to group and sort them. The task flow now performs that task for us. We'll do that perhaps later on. One other useful feature is the Add New button, which suggests relevant artifacts to adopt for that specific task type if you need to expand or evolve your solution. So here you can see suggestions for the Prepare Data task are a notebook, a Spark job, a data flow, or a data pipeline. So that's it for this video. We've shown how task flows enable an architecture pattern to be established for your project. Then how they can be used to organize the artifacts in your workspace according to that pattern. In the next video, we're going to look at how we can introduce observability into Microsoft notebooks. So please don't forget to hit like if you've enjoyed this video, and please subscribe to our channel if you want to keep following our content. Thanks very much for watching. Bye-bye.